It is something that we have to do as citizens in the US, but that they do not at all prepare you for in school. Look at that. I voted. Gonna do the thing where I put it on. I voted. So this is my polling location, and there's a frightening lack of people here. Although I guess people are probably gonna come after work, but it is lunch, so you'd think it would be slightly busier. Hey guys, it's Kristen. Welcome to my home. I just got home from voting and I have about 1 hour until I have to go to work, so this is going to have to be a get ready with me / mukbang situation because I need to put on makeup and then eat lunch in the next hour, so I can't really do my whole setup. But I wanted to talk, oh man, the lighting here. But I wanted to talk about voting because I just voted and I think it's really important to vote, obviously, but I think it can be kind of daunting. So I'm gonna just chat about my day and how I chose who I was gonna vote for and then actually did it. Because it wasn't actually that hard and you can and should also vote. So, gonna go get my makeup and then we're gonna sit on the ground here and chat. So I'm getting ready on the floor in my living room, which is not like what I normally do, but the lighting is exponentially better here, so this way we can chat. And the TV is just gonna be rotating through like Netflix suggestions, so that's chill. Okay, so today is primary day in my state, so I wanted to vote in the primary because I think it's important. But I got my sample ballot in the mail and everything, and I never actually looked up any of the candidates before today. I was planning to do it yesterday, but then other stuff happened and I ended up going out to dinner with my friend who's leaving the country at midnight tonight. So obviously that was important. And also editing another video, and it just didn't happen. But this morning I had a eye doctor appointment and I'm getting new glasses, which is very exciting. So I had to get up this morning and go to that, but also I have work at 2, so I kind of had this like limited window. So what I did is after my eye appointment, I went over to a Starbucks with my brother and we got some coffee together, and I pulled out my laptop. I took my laptop with me because I was planning on doing this, and I started Googling to acquire all of the information that I would need to be an informed voter. So first of all, I forgot to take my sample ballot with me this morning, which was a super genius move. So first I had to go online and find the sample ballot so that I knew which candidates I had to choose from. To do that, I basically just Googled my county and state and then sample ballot. And I got a website and I had to poke around a bit before I found the right link, but I did find it. From that, I just went like one category or race or whatever you want to call it at a time, and I opened in separate tabs what looked like the best link on every candidate. So not all candidates have websites, or at least I couldn't find websites for all candidates, which seems kind of silly to me because like that's just showing that you're not trying, and it might be unfair advantage due to like campaign finance and stuff, but if you don't have a website, I can't really know your like stance on the issues from your own mouth, and I just don't feel like I can vote for you. So for the big ones like senator, congressperson, etc., I pretty much just ruled out anyone that I couldn't find a website for. Because there are other websites that will sometimes tell you that information, but I couldn't find anything really good. So then what I'd do is I'd try to find the like issues section on each candidate's website so that I could see their stance on the big stuff. And at this point, you have to know what your own opinions are and also what is most important to you. So I think knowing like your top 2 or 3 issues and your stance on those issues and just seeing if you can find a candidate that matches up on all of those is good. But if your ideas pretty much line up with the party lines, it might be harder to differentiate, and in that case I recommend reading like their bio to see how you feel about them as a person, to see if you feel like they're the kind of person that you want making big decisions for you. So looking at their education, looking at what they've worked in before, and whether you think those are going to make their values similar to your values, which kind of abstracts beyond like stances on issues to like what they'll find more important and whether you also think those things are more important. So like, for example, I'm not a huge fan of people who have worked in like finance or like corporate businesses, because those tend to have different interests than I do. So I tend to go for people with like more education, people who have been teachers. There are a lot of candidates who have been teachers I was reading about, and I actually really like that because I feel like teachers tend to be well connected to like younger people in society, which is what I am, so I like that. And then also just looking at the stances. I did that for the first few, but I started to get tired of it because it's really hard to go through everyone's like individual websites. So for some of the like more local, lower level things like sheriff and mayor, I just searched like Washoe County sheriff candidates and like Reno mayor candidates, and then I would get like local news articles about all of the candidates. I actually found a really good one on the sheriff candidates that had like super full profiles on everyone in one place. And also if they've done any sort of like debate type things where they have all the candidates in one room, that can be good to read because it'll kind of say like, we asked them this question, here's what all of them had to say, and you can start gravitating towards one person or another. Also keeping in mind your top issues, like your top stances, the things that are most important to you. Also, like, as a feminist, I did try to pay particular attention to female candidates because I feel like one of my values is that I want more women in politics, and I think that women have a harder time getting elected. So if I think a woman is qualified and it's kind of like even between her and a male candidate, I'll tend to go for the woman, just because being a woman myself, I also think we're more likely to have similar values when it comes to stuff like women's reproductive rights, and I just want more women at the table for those kind of issues. I'm not saying just vote for a woman if you're a feminist, but like, if it's close between two and one is a woman, I'm gonna lean that way. So that's the kind of thing you can keep in mind. I'm not saying you have to have those opinions. I'm just like explaining to you how I thought about my priorities while I was trying to choose candidates. Because I was also doing this pretty quickly. Like, I was sitting in Starbucks trying to throw it all together in like an hour because I knew that I had to get to work later, and I wasn't sure if there were gonna be lines, but there weren't because not enough people voted in the primaries, and that's a whole other thing. But so then basically what actually happens when you show up to vote is that this is gonna vary by state, but here at least you usually do not have to show ID. You just tell them like your name and maybe your birthday or address. They pull up your information, you're like, yeah, that's me, that's all still right, and then you have to sign. And then they check your signature against like their records, and then if that doesn't match, that's why they might ask for ID. But mine was a perfect match because my signature has been consistent for several years. And then they just give you this little like credit card type plastic card. You go put it into a machine, gives you all your options, you select who you want to vote for, and then it'll like have you review it a couple of times. Mine had me review it on the screen, and then it printed it out and had me check it there. And I was like, yep, that looks good. So you hit the submit button, and then it says take out the card. You take the card back up to the person, you're done. It took me like 5 minutes maybe, like not even 5 minutes, 5 minutes including walking into the school. The other important thing is that if you vote on actual election day and not in like early elections, you have to go to your designated voting location, so like the one that's your precinct or whatever, because early voting you can go somewhere else. But so if you commute for work, it's gonna be the one close to your house. It's not gonna be near work, which is probably why not that many people were there, even though it was a lunch break. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because it is something that we have to do as citizens in the US, but that they do not at all prepare you for in school, and also it's not like super easy to figure out. Like, they don't just like hand you the information about the candidates. You kind of have to do it yourself, and even like searching online these days, it can be hard to find the right information or hard to know what you should be looking for because on some candidate sites there's almost too much information. I don't think I'm gonna wear mascara today because I want to be able to rub my eyes. Also, if you're watching this and you did vote or you do vote, I would love to hear how you decide on who to vote for, any tips you might have, or ways to just find good information easily, because like, it's a struggle out here. We struggling as much as this freaking eyebrow. Holy crap. What you doing, boy? Ugh. And I think the main message here is just to be informed, and that you can become informed. It is possible. Also, it's okay not to vote for every single thing. So some of the really small local stuff I decided I didn't have time to do the research on, and in that case I just didn't vote because I don't want to be selecting an option that doesn't reflect my informed opinion. And you can leave stuff blank, like that's fine. Like I was saying yesterday that I mainly wanted to be absolutely sure I just voted for Senate, House Representative, and Governor because those are like the really big ones in my opinion. I decided I had time and like the will to look at some other ones, but it's okay if you only vote for like the 2 or 3 things that you really care about. That is also a totally legitimate way to use your vote, and it can also be less intimidating if you feel like you don't have time to figure everything out. Thanks for watching. I hope this inspired you to be politically informed. I hope this made you feel reassured that you can become informed and it's not that daunting, and it's totally possible to cast a vote and feel like your voice is being heard, even though we have busy lives and we don't have time to necessarily know everything about all of the candidates. Do you think this is okay hair to wear to work? I hope it is. I think it's fine. Leave any thoughts down below. Give this a like if you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. And be sure to subscribe to see more videos from me. I'm trying to upload at least once a week. I won't tell you which day because, like, that's too much commitment. But you will definitely be seeing me again soon if you hit that red button. And I appreciate it a lot. Okay, bye! Look, look, look. I voted. Voting is great. Democracy only works if you vote and you vote.